Hey guys, welcome back to Hell is Us. This is part 17 of our 19-part walkthrough. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe before we get started so that you're always notified when I have a new guide out. We're in Marstan. Come over to this blue house that's directly in front of the APC and to the right. Speak to this first NPC, Elzina, and give her the cigarette case. That is really all that we had to do here. We have one more part of this good deed to take care of before we're completely finished and pop the trophy for good deeds. You can see I'm looking in my data pad now at the Vaults of Forbidden Knowledge. We have only one that has been unopened. We're first going to go clean up the good deed. Then we're going to head over to Lake Cynon and open up that vault. So go back to the APC once you've given Elzina the cigarette case. And from here, we're going to head over to Senedra Forest. So if you want to, you can check out your whole map, but I've shown several times that almost every area is clear. Senedra Forest is not clear. We still have a time loop there that we haven't found, but that's going to be done in post-game. So for now, we only need to go here to finish up this good deed, and we need to go back over to the house that we first encountered in the very first video. We'll have to go, we're not going to talk to Ernest, but if you remember, his son came back and brought a few people with him. We have to go and speak to one of those NPCs. Don't worry about killing any enemies if you run across any. We don't need to worry about that right now. We'll go ahead and take care of it when we come back to find the final time loop. So this little boy sitting on the bed, you want to give him the ring. His name is Dag. This earned you the Mementos good deed and the Man of the People trophy. That trophy is for completing every good deed in the game. So now we're completely done with the good deeds. We still have a few mysteries to solve, however. So once you're finished speaking to Dag, just teleport over to the APC. And once inside, we're going to head over to Lake Cynon.
Have you found something of interest?
Here, I'm just double checking that I don't have any research items. I do not, but we will be snagging the rest of them before the guide is over, so no worries. Just head over to Lake Cynon and you're going to get a cutscene in real time. You'll also earn the Ever After trophy once you head to Lake Cynon, and all of the NPCs that could possibly be there, once they're all there, you pop that trophy, which as far as I can tell, it's only 3. So when you get here, we want to head down to the little dock first. There is a woman sitting on the dock now. You can go ahead and speak to her. I believe this is one of the women that was rescued in the boat. Remember when we brought the gas can to the guy and he went to rescue those women? I'm pretty sure she's one of them. Now head over to the house that's on the opposite side of the lake. Over here, you'll see there's a man standing there. This is Abbot Jaffer. He made it here.
I'm glad to
you
see
can go ahead and speak to him and exhaust his investigation dialogue.
Here,
you don't really have very much to talk about at this point, but you do want to come and speak to him, and then look to his right. You'll see there's a glowing yellow orb there. You'll want to interact with that and grab the full bottle of Mead. Remember way back when in the Castle Marshes there was a drunk soldier sitting at a picnic table who wanted mead? We finally have the mead to give him. Around the
finally
back,
made
you
it
can
here.
talk to Rebecca,
Cynon?
and you can see that
Are you gonna be okay?
Yeah.
the dog is here.
I
Remember the
hope
dog
the
that
herd
we
told
freed
me
and
late
brought the
sooner.
collar over to the man in Vista Hills?
What
I think the
happened to
dog's
you
name
and
is...
Jova?
It's not Max.
I
Max is the other dog. I don't
Is your
remember
uncle
his
gonna be
name. But
okay?
anyway,
I
he's
think
safe
so.
and he's here with
I wish that
Rebecca.
Cedrus could stop all the
So
people
once you
need to
finish
take
speaking to
responsibility
Rebecca, if you turn to the right, you'll see that this door is open to this shed area. This was not open last time we came. Go and grab the Rustic key off of the table, and you'll also get a letter about safekeeping, and that will start the safekeeping mystery. Now that we're finished with that, I'm going to pull out my data pad and take a look at the Vaults of Forbidden Knowledge again, just to refresh your memory on what the code will be. Follow this path. We're headed back over to the dock, but we want to go past it. There's sort of a hidden path here. Don't follow the main path. Just go in where the blue flowers are to the left of the main path, and you'll eventually come across another smaller path. Follow it around near the shore, and you'll come to a cave. Make your way through this cave, and at the end you'll see the door for the vault. And the code for this one is Vigilance. And then Grief. Next is Loathing. And finally, Ecstasy. That will open up the vault, and you can come inside and collect all of the goodies. As usual, you'll get a lot of miscellaneous items that really only help to give you more background information on the story itself. There's also an Amine Prism Theta in here. Here is a relic. And I don't go over too much the active and passive relics, but it's pretty straightforward. You go into your data pad and choose the relic you want to look at, and it gives you a description of each one. So you can choose which one you think will best suit your play style. There are several other items scattered around in here. Just make sure that you interact with every glowing orb before leaving. That should be everything. So let's head back out. And we're going to go back over to where the water reservoir was. So once you exit out of the cave, you can see it off to the left. At this point, you may have forgotten a little bit of it, but it should come back to you because we're going to go back down into this area where the Lymbic forge is. You'll be surprised by how much you remember, I think. Remember this chest over here? We finally have the rods that we need to unlock it. So before heading inside, do that. And we get a glyph inside. That solves the mystery for the Lymbic chest, Lake Cynon Reservoir. Now let's head back in. So just to be clear, one of the first things we're going to do is open up a door that we were not able to open, and after that we are going to be clearing enemies. So you may want to go ahead and check out the timestamps. If there's possibly something that you missed, you can go and just skip ahead to it, but a lot of this coming up is going to be just running around, going through every single area and making sure that we clear out every possible enemy, because we're getting ready to destroy a time loop in here. So work your way through this area, all of the enemies will have returned except for the Timeloop Guardians that we took out. Don't leave any enemies behind. Take everyone out that you see and try to go through every possible area. Now, when you get into this first room, turn to the left, take out this ranged hollow, and directly behind you is a Lymbic door. We were not able to open this before. We need to open it now. Place the correct rods inside, and when the door opens, you'll be greeted with an enemy. This is the final Timeloop Guardian. This also solves the mystery, Blackmailed. So we were not able to take out the Timeloop the last time we were in here, simply because we could not open this door and the final Timeloop Guardian is here. Now that that's taken care of, make sure you pick up all the items. There's a research item, the Bowl of Ash. You can pick up the Twin Axis of Rage, and I'm pretty sure there was a glyph in there also. Once you're done in there, I just continued going to the left so that I could come in here and make sure that all of the enemies are taken care of. This is a dead end, so once you come back out, you'll be back in the area you were before. So it just makes a loop in on itself, and you can take out that one enemy hiding in that room. Once you're back here, you can go downstairs, aggro these humanoid hollows. Take these guys out. They should be super easy because we've been fighting level 3 enemies and we're back to level 2, so this should really be easy for you. Here I'm just running through to make sure every enemy is dead. And then don't forget about this room. This is it is a dead end, but there should be 4 enemies in here. So make sure that you take them out before leaving the area. Yeah, I'm sure your memory is probably slowly coming back to you at this point. That's what it did for me. You know, I'd be a little unsure of where I was going, and then I would see a particular room, like, oh yeah, I remember this. So make your way out of this room, head back the way that you came. And I am going to go through everything. Before going to the Lymbic Forge and inserting the keystones, we will be taking out every enemy. So now that area is clear. You can come out on the bottom level. Remember, we went in from the top. So come out on the bottom level to take out these enemies. And let's head into the hallway opposite of where we came out. I did take the first left. You can see if you take another left, that takes you back to the main area, but we don't want to go there yet. We want to come in here and take out a couple of enemies. Let's go straight across from where we entered and up these stairs. There is an enemy waiting on the staircase. I made my way up just to check, but I think the enemy in here was a Timeloop Guardian, so he won't have respawned. Make your way back down. You can turn to the first left. This is the owl door, if you remember correctly. Golly, these guys are annoying. Just take out the enemies that are here waiting. It shouldn't be too difficult. This makes a loop. If you remember, we went to the right over there. So I'm going to turn around and head back. That's the way we went through to get to this room. So if you turn to the right, you can go downstairs or you can go through the door straight ahead. Choose whichever one you want, because we really do need to investigate everything. We want to leave no enemies behind. This takes us in a circle, so let's head back and go down the stairs. And if I remember correctly, it was Timeloop Guardians that were in this room. But just to be sure, I am going to run through every single room, which is why I gave the disclaimer. So if you head over to the opposite door, there are some humanoid hollows here. You'll probably remember as you continue down this little hall where you first encountered these guys, because we came from a different way the first time. So now that you can see this room, it should click where these guys were. So you don't forget to go to the right. There's a dead end over here, but just make sure there's no enemy. And then going over to the left, this takes us into the middle area of the main room where we had to use the gears. You can go ahead and go this way, take out the few enemies that are here. Although this is a little bit harder because we haven't taken out the guys at the top, and any ranged hollow is always very annoying. But yeah, you can go ahead and just clear out this part. I'm gonna head up the stairs here. Go to the left and you can unlock this door. I guess we never did it, but this brings you up to the top area of this main room. Here I'm going to go to the right and just check this out and make sure it's all clear. We should have gone through all of the rooms so far. I know there's one that I'm missing where there's a podium. So I'm coming up to the top and going to the left. This brings us back to the owl room. Turn around, come through here, which is going to bring us back to that main area. To the right is this room with the gears. We'll just head across over here and take out these enemies. I know we still have the lower level to take care of, so that's probably what I'm thinking of, where the room with the podium is. Let's take these guys out for now. If you remember, we can go down and to the left or down and to the right. There's no way to cross over there. We can come up, but we can't go down. So let's head to the opposite side and make our way down the stairs. I'm going to run straight ahead just to check and make sure that there are no enemies left here. Of course, there was one single enemy hiding. It's a good thing that we came this way. Now we have descended further down into the main room. This is the bottom floor. These were Timeloop guardians on this side, so they won't be here anymore. If we go to the other side, there will be 2 enemies here waiting. They are linked with a grief haze. We already cleared out this room. There were no enemies inside. So now let's work our way back up the stairs. Just keep working your way back up. This takes us to the top level. And we're going to have to work our way back around to find that room with the podium. So you're going to see me running through areas I've already been through. However, I'm looking to find a way around, which I did. Over here on this platform, there is another enemy. If you go over to the end, you can drop down. You can see 2 enemies here on this level. Take these guys out. And the doorway in here is going to lead us over to that room with the podium. That takes us back down to the bottom level. Turn to the left and go through the hallway. Make your way up the stairs. And this is the podium room I was telling you about. You should remember it when you see it. You can go directly across through this doorway. And this little library area, there were Timeloop Guardians in here, so they will not return. And that's the podium. So obviously no enemies in here, but we want to make absolutely extra sure. This is the way I just came, I know. But after going through this 3 times, there's nothing worse than when you forget one single enemy and see that your area isn't clear, because you can't check it until you go back to the APC. So, and then you can warp to the APC, but you can't warp from it. So then you have to make your way completely through everything again if the area isn't clear. That's why I'm going over this stuff multiple times. Anyway, you can exit out of there, make your way down to the bottom of this main area and take the elevator down. We're going to go ahead and get rid of the time loop. There should not be an enemy here because we already took him out. So just make your way over to it. And we're going to send trusty old Cappy in there to collapse the time loop. I don't know about you guys, but it can be difficult to remember sometimes, you know, where you found a time loop and where you didn't. So that's where your data pad comes in handy, because it'll tell you if you've discovered a time loop, but it won't tell you if it'll tell you the ones you've collapsed, and it'll show you the ones that you haven't. And when you go back and look at that, it's like, oh my gosh, I've done so much stuff I completely forgot about it. Once you finish collapsing the time loop, grab the research item, the bronze cup. It was hidden underneath the time loop. And now that that is taken care of, we can go back up the elevator, and we're going to make our way up to the Lymbic Forge. There is another mystery in here that we're going to solve as well. I don't know if you guys remember, but when we first found the Lymbic Forge, there was a hidden Lymbic chest behind a waterfall. We're going to be able to open that one up now. So just make your way to the top of this. I don't know if it's a reservoir or what exactly it is. But it's pretty, you should be pretty familiar with the area to easily make your way up to the top. Go through the door to the Lymbic Forge. And when you go down to the mid-level, go to the left. Behind this waterfall here is a Lymbic chest. We have the rod that we need to open it up. Once you do that, you'll get a Lymbic capacitor and a glyph. And you also solve the mystery for the Lymbic chest, Lymbic Forge waterfall. Head over here and you'll have 3 enemies waiting that are all linked by a green haze. So just get rid of these guys so that we can place our keystones in peace. Now we should have every single one, so make your way through and place each keystone into the corresponding keyhole. Once you place the final keystone, you will receive the Emotional Baggage Trophy. And that is for completing Act 2. And isn't that crazy? We're on video 17 and we have just now completed Act 2. Don't worry, Act 3 is very, very short. So, yeah, that's done. The door is going to open, and in here, this is just kind of like an enemy rush. You just have to keep defeating the enemies in this room until they stop appearing. And it'll go on for a little while. It's not too bad. But this is really all you have to do. You'll just have multiple enemies that spawn in, take them all out, and when they stop, you'll be able to move on to the next room. And of course, again, you do want to make sure you take out every single one. You could probably go try and open the door. It may or may not let you interact with the switch, but you do want to make sure to take out all these enemies because you want this area to be clear before we leave. So don't leave any enemies behind. You'll know you got the last one when you obtain a shard. So go over, pull the lever, and open up this door. And we're gonna do quite a bit of running. This is a very, very long tunnel. While I'm running, I'm just gonna throw a couple of tuning stones into my twin axes of ecstasy and my twin axes of terror. We might as well, because we're coming up on the end game. And you want your weapons to be as strong as possible. You'll see why in just a couple of minutes. There are 4 final bosses, and they are all tough, especially on normal mode. Like, I'm honestly kind of afraid of how hard they would be on the hardest difficulty.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, loud and clear.
I was afraid.
I struggled a lot on normal. On easy, they really weren't that bad. But normal, yeah, I did a lot of dying. So, this is a very, very long tunnel. You're gonna hear Tanya talking to you through Cappy, and she will go in and out of clarity because we're going so far into this mountain.
Why do I feel like I'm in a really bad long-distance phone call commercial?
She's gonna start losing signal the further that we go.
I'm here.
I've boosted the array to its limits. This is probably the last time we talk. I think you're almost there. Wherever there is. Don't take my
You'll
word
also
for it.
be able to tell that
The drones
Remy
being
isn't
erratic.
going to be too sad about it when Tanya can't speak to him anymore.
Stop the calamity. Good luck.
Tanya. Well, Cappy, finally.
And once you get the last dialogue, you should be getting to the end of the tunnel now, and you'll pop the long and not so winding road trophy that is for traversing the tunnel from the Lymbic Forge to the Eye of God. So yeah, we're headed over to the Eye of God, which is gonna be another moment where your brain kind of can't comprehend what you're seeing because you've been seeing things in a certain way for so long. So when you head over here, you'll see 4 podiums. Each podium has an orb on it. So grab the cobalt orb, the gold orb, the emerald orb, and finally you want to grab the crimson orb. We're going to need these for an upcoming puzzle related to the 4 final bosses. In the middle of the room, there is another podium with a golden orb. Grab the Amine Prism row. From that, you'll also get a failsafe scroll. Once you've collected those 2 items, you'll see that a door in front of you is going to open up. And we're gonna, again, take a page from Resident Evil and go from old, crumbling, ancient areas to very clean laboratory settings. This is where we have our final battle, I guess. Once you work your way to the top of these containers, you'll pop the well-traveled trophy for visiting every location in the game. And we're going to stop this one here. So thank you all so much for watching. Please join me again in part 18 where we have our final battle. And until then, Khajiit always has wares.